Welcome to the Smart Influencer podcast. If you're tired of chasing algorithms, second guessing your strategy, or feeling like you're doing all the things without seeing the growth you want, you're in the right place.
We're your hosts. I'm Christina,
And I'm Corinne.
and we're bloggers, business owners, systems nerds, and founders of the Smart Influencer. Between the two of us, we've built multiple six-figure brands, launched digital products, hosted live events, and coached creators who are ready to level up.
Each week, we break down what's actually working in today's creator economy, from monetization and list growth to systems, automation, and building a business that doesn't own you. Because this isn't about hustling harder.
It's about building smarter. Let's get into it.
Welcome, everyone. Today, you were talking with Christina and we are talking about, I think this might be my favorite so far, especially because the title, the Lazy Genius Revenue Plan. Like we're all about working smarter, not harder, and this like speaks to the core of what we do. We want to talk about how to make more money without actually doing more. So that's where it's lazy, but we call it smart. So that is today's topic.
And it's okay to be lazy, right? We don't have to, work ourselves to the bone every minute of every day. When we can take cheat codes and use them, we should.
Right. Yeah. So we've got more time to go build cool things, spend time with our family, or whatever you want to do with your time. So I'm here for it. Okay.
So,
So, oh, go
oh,
ahead.
we're doing
Really?
what we typically do, talk over each other. So I think what happens is so many of us get stuck in the rhythm and that cycle of, we're doing what we've always done because we've always done it and it's comfortable, right? Ad revenue, maybe we have a digital product that's, running on autopilot or we're putting in passive affiliate links here and there. But I think sometimes it's not so much what else can you add? It's more how you can make what you're doing work smarter for you so that you, um, like Corinne said, have more time to spend on other things. So strategy one here is, I think, one of my favorite things, and it's stacking what you're doing, right? Layering those income sources that support each other on top of each other rather than just running parallel things that really don't match up.
Right. So I'm going to back up just a step because one of the reasons that this topic is like why we came up with this topic and why we're talking about it today is because at the summit, one of the things that came in the feedback forms was people were most excited about like meeting other people and talking about alternate revenue streams. We did have a heavy proportion of food bloggers at the summit. About, I think we calculated it was 80% of attendees, which actually feels like in the circles we run in, pretty indicative of like the
Yeah.
spread there are a lot of food bloggers. And like like a lot of food bloggers I think are like, okay, well, ad revenue is collapsing or it's not as reliable as it was. Like I've got to now develop whole new skills to pursue different revenue streams. And that's not necessarily true. So that's why we're starting with strategy one, because stacking, we want you to look at like, and we've said this many times, and like I hope people hear it. What you've done, even if it's not working the same as it was, isn't wasted, right? Like you have however many blog posts you have, and it's good content, right? Like you spent years honing that craft and creating really good content. That still has value. We just have to find a way to squeeze all the value in terms of dollars out of it.
Right.
So if it's not ad revenue, we're not looking to now you've got to create a bunch of courses or you've got to we can talk about it in a separate episode. There are lots of other ways to make money if you want to put in the sweat equity. But if you want to use the sweat equity you already have, this is the easiest strategy to start with. You
Mm-hmm.
start with the content you already have and look at that and think, how can I get more money out of it? And this is much easier than building a new product or trying to figure out a
Yeah.
new skill. So, like as an example, if you take a top performing post, right? And this is something all of us like kind of dabble with this long before you start thinking about revenue diversification, right? Like affiliate links like work, so you start to throw in a couple affiliate links, right? Like so, or having an opt-in so you can get them on your list so that you can start pushing them. If you're not doing those things yet, those are the first two things you
Right.
do.
Hands
Um,
down.
yeah. So like, but it's like looking at that and then taking that next level and next level. So maybe now you go from an affiliate link to creating an affiliate, like a resource post, and then pushing all of your top, like all of your content from that category to that post to increase your revenue. Or maybe it's getting an affiliate partner that works really well in that top post that pays you a
Right.
higher commission. Like instead of finding a whole new way to make money, we're taking that post that's already performing well and again, finding ways to make it more valuable.
Yeah. Or like if you're doing affiliate links and you're collecting the or the email addresses, putting those affiliate links in your emails, right? Like just using what you already have in every way possible
Right.
and really being smart about that and really look at your affiliate links. Are you linking to them properly? Are you using deep linking? Are you linking to enough products within your post? I think sometimes we just put this little section that says what I used, to make, and I'm using recipes because that's what I'm familiar with, but the tools I used to make this recipe, and it's a list of like three things that you used. Um, that may not be enough. So
Right.
it doesn't hurt to put it in more spots within your content and to
And I
work
feel
that
like
in.
this is an easy way to step into some things that feel like a big, heavy lift.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use memberships as an example. Like memberships, I like that made it on my list last year. Memberships and digital products were my 2025 focus. And I went hard into that. And like because I bullet train and like all my issues, right? Like I went heavy into setting up MemberPress and doing all that. You don't have to do that to get to membership level pretty easily. Grocers List and non-food bloggers, don't tune me out here. Grocers List has a great tool. We had them on the podcast to talk about this a little bit. But Grocers List has a tool where you can make an ad-free membership.
Yeah.
It's very easy. It's loading a plugin, which everyone that's listening to this knows how to do. It's loading and activating a plugin, just a little bit of backend stuff, and they are great over there. Ben will help you get it set up. Sorry, Ben, if you end up getting a lot of calls, but I hope you do. I hope we're so popular you get tons of calls about this. But Ben will help you set up, or someone on the team will, because they want you to be successful. But you can add an ad-free option, maybe throw them a couple blog posts that's gated, right? Like no one else
Mhm.
gets to see. Again, very easy with this plugin. You don't have to learn a whole new platform. You don't have to like set up this whole big thing and do a big launch. You just mention it on all your posts and on your top posts.
And I know what you might be thinking here because I initially I thought it too, like, oh, well, to put gated content that nobody else has access to, that means I have to create new content. No, you don't. So many times we've talked to SEOs and they've said, weed out the thin content, weed out the content that doesn't have potential to rank, no index it or delete it. And I've done that a lot with my content, but some of them were good posts, right? They were great recipes that I enjoy making for my family, which is why I've no indexed them instead of deleting them. But that's perfect for gating behind that membership, right? Because the recipes or the content is still great, but it could just be you're not going after the SEO component of it. You're just using it as special content for your members. So you're not
I
really
really
creating
love
new
that as
work.
a strategy because a lot of people that the content that you end up getting rid of or de-indexing
Yeah.
or no indexing is the stuff that was personal because it's like when
Yeah.
you shared about your kids, that's the stuff, especially nowadays in the age of AI, when people like it's like giving them a peek behind the curtain.
Hmm.
Make those like special behind the scenes. You don't have to get rid of them, and you make a little money on the front end
And
too.
you've already done the work.
Exactly.
Right? So we're not duplicating efforts there. So think about that and don't feel like, oh, well, she's telling me I have to go back and do this to all my content. You don't have to do it with all your content. Pick your top performers and start there. And
Yeah,
then
I'd say
little,
if you did it just in your top 10 posts, you'd see
yeah,
a dramatic difference
yeah.
in your income.
So make sure you've got affiliate links in those, you have email opt-ins in those. If you have a product that you're linking to it appropriately within those posts, that you're relating other content together, just make sure that those top 10 posts are solid and that everything is stacked within them.
Absolutely.
Okay, moving on.
So strategy two is my favorite.
I know mine too. Super excited about this one. Um,
Oh,
increasing cart value, right? This is the easiest way to generate more income if you have a product that you're selling.
this is
Easiest.
how I went from $10,000 a year in product sales to 50,000. Again, last year this was my big push. So from products because I wanted like Those of you that know my site know I have a lot of low cost products, right? Like a lot of 4.99, 5.99 products. I didn't have any high value offers. And it is really hard to get wealthy off of a bunch of, $3, $4, $5 transactions. You need a lot of volume, a lot of volume.
Mhm.
And when traffic is shrinking, it's really hard to get the conversions to get enough of those transactions. So my goal became to 5x my cart value. So to go from an average order value of $5 to an average order value of $25. Now, for those of you that aren't in the product realm, like that's like, okay, well, I was already having a hard time putting together a 5.99 PDF. Now I got to do like some bigger project, which was my thinking too. I'll whip out like $5 products all day long. Like those are easy to create. Bundles, my friend,
Yeah,
bundles.
that did it for me too.
Yeah, bundle stuff together. You can do bigger products and now I have, but even my best-selling product, it is just a bundle of all of my freebies. You get it all in one space that it's easy to navigate. It's literally just a collection of stuff you could get for free if you wanted to spend 2, 3 hours on my site clicking around signing up for each individual opt-in. So find the things that you have. People will pay for convenience. Like we've said that before too. Bundles. That's the magic word.
This is one of those things too that we've talked about a lot in our group coaching with clients is, you're thinking about doing one product and I'm sorry, but this is just the way my brain works. I'm always thinking two steps ahead. So think, as you're creating this first product, where should someone go next? Right? Like, what is the add on to that? And I want you to think in that way when you're creating it the first time. Don't just create a random product that has no journey, that has no bundle potential. So think about it in bundles. Like, okay, if I'm doing a grilled chicken ebook, maybe I need to do, a grilled vegetable, or maybe I need to do summer sides, or, just something like that that you can bundle together that makes a nice little package and that gets people to say, hell yes, I need that. If one is great, I am a great thinker. If one is great, three is better all the
Yeah,
time. That's
same.
just the way my brain works.
We're looking for our fellow hoarders for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people, if you package it right, like it's an easy yes. Like once they've got that credit card out and they've already said yes one time, getting them to add more onto that is so much easier than getting that first yes. So once you've got that first yes from them, the subsequent yeses are so much easier. And that's the bumps and the upsells.
The other thing I'll say here, because there's a whole vein of people that are like this, and I think you and I have a little of this as well, where we're afraid to put ourselves out there for a price, right? Like you just think whatever you're creating isn't worth anything. And so we keep adding and we keep adding and we keep adding. And before you know it, like we've got this like 100-page product or whatever that like is well beyond what we had originally said we were going to do. I'm going to challenge you. If you've done that, if that's the mode you get into for product creation, find the natural splits and break that into three separate things. And then that becomes your offer, your bump, and then you upsell to have the whole product together. So if you already know you create that way, you've already built your whole funnel.
Mm-hmm.
And people can take little pieces. It's so much easier for me to sell a product that way, where the gateway is a $5, than to ask someone right out the gate to give me $25.
Right.
So, like, do it. Go ahead and build it if that's how you like to build. Probably not the best use of your time, but like, if it's you, like, no judgment, because that is how I am, right? Like, if that's you, then use that to your advantage and then figure out where you can break it apart and like repiece it back together in a funnel.
Mm-hmm. So there's also order bumps that you can add to things. So we like to describe these. I forget who said this, but they're like the candy aisle. Like when you're checking out at the grocery store, the little candy thing that they have in the checkout aisle, or like it's an easy yes, right? It's easy to throw one on and not even think about it. And that's what your order bump should be. Not necessarily another product of the same value, and definitely not one that's a higher value. That's an upsell. But your order bump should just be a nice little add-on, right? So I actually purchased a pre-done PDF from somebody a while ago, and I use that as my order bump. It's a meal planner system. And you know how many, just about every single ebook I sell, that meal plan gets added right onto that. And it's a no-brainer thought, right? People just click the box and it increases the cart value. And then
Now,
from there,
oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I'm taking it a different direction so you can finish your thought. I didn't mean to
I'm
interrupt.
done. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna go, like, I hope listeners do this. We're never trying to tell you exactly what to do. Like, this is idea generation and take the ones that spin. So I will tell you, I don't do bumps in this way. Like, I've never done them this way. It's not the candy aisle thing. I almost actually always, I think you will be hard pressed to find a funnel where this is not true. I don't give you a cheaper option. It is always same value or within a dollar. Like I'm like, you already liked this. I'm going to sell you another one. And you already know you on a tripwire, they're getting it at a like 40 to 50% discount. So if you come in on a 4.99 tripwire offer, the bump is usually a 4.99 offer. So it runs counter to that because I've tested it and it works for me. So like yes, like on the our joint businesses, our bump offers convert. Like we almost always sell a bump offer on ours. We were just talking about this. They convert very well. So traditional wisdom is that. But if we're saying anything and you're like, that doesn't feel like me, fix
Doesn't
it.
have
Right?
to.
Like, yeah, make it you.
Yeah, what we're
So it
saying are
doesn't
just
have to be like what experts say is the
yeah,
best.
these are just jumping off points. And as in normal fashion, Corinne and I go about things in different ways. When it comes to upsells, though, I really want you to think about what works, right? Like what works with the original product. I've told this story before. I have my moonshine ebook, and it was my most popular ebook that I offered. And when I was putting together the package for this, right? The upsells for it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to upsell it with my second most popular ebook, which was my super fast suppers, right? Both of them sell great. They're going to sell even better when together. Nobody was taking the upsell. Nobody. I couldn't understand why nobody was taking this upsell. Then, a little while into this, I started digging in and really looking into things. I'm looking at the sales page, I'm dissecting that, the whole thing. And for some reason, I ended up in MailerLite and I'm just looking around, just seeing where people were clicking in emails. And somehow I started looking at the email list of who purchased. And I was noticing something. I'm like, there's an awful lot of men's names in these email addresses. Not for nothing, not being judgy, but I'm like, men aren't usually the ones that cook dinner. So I switched it. I just took that super fast suppers out and I put in a game day recipe book. Instantly, the upsell started converting. Instantly. And sometimes it's something as simple as just making sure the offers line up for the audience you're targeting. I didn't think I was targeting men. I didn't realize men even came to my site. But because all my demographics are saying busy moms, busy moms, busy moms, so I was going with that. But sometimes you just really have to dig in to figure it out. But once you figure it out, it's like magic.
Well, and mine like that was so like I do a lot of seasonal stuff, right? Like I have a lot of seasonal printables. And so like what I had was I'd have like say a spring crossword puzzle. You'd come in, you'd opt in to get that. The tripwire would be the spring activity kit. And then I would bump another activity kit. And those never did very well. And it was in a mastermind group. We were talking, people were like, well, when I'm looking like say for, I don't know, Halloween bingo. I'm in Halloween mode. I'm not in bingo mode. I'm not a passionate bingo player, right? So I switched it. So
I
it's
know you have
another
your
spring
troll
item.
dolls lined up. You are playing bingo like you're sitting there at the table with all your little troll dolls and your little
That stresses
knickknacks.
me out when I see people do like the truth being told. Like I've seen people do that. That stresses me out. I'm like, I do not have the attention span to watch more than one, maybe two cards, right?
Sorry.
So yes, we digress.
Went off on a
But
riff.
so for me, like really understanding what mode is that, like it's just all marketing
Yeah.
101. So like we're not saying it like this is not earth shattering, but sometimes like I had to hear that a couple times before I'm like, I've got the wrong bump on all of these. So if you've got sales funnels that aren't converting, or if you're building it for the first time, like, oh, what do I add as a bump? Do think about that. Like, what frame of mind is that person? Who is it? Like, really try to figure out who is it that's landing there and what are they doing in that moment? Because what's the other thing that's going to entice them?
Yeah.
So for me, it's not going to be another activity kit. It's not like sometimes it is, right? Like if it's a more evergreen, but more it was they're doing a holiday and they want more holiday stuff.
Hmm.
So, all
Keep the kids
right.
busy. But in case you're wondering, my meal plan bump does not work on my moonshine book either. That is a completely different one.
Like the only place,
Because
yeah.
men are not cooking dinner, they are certainly not meal planning. At least not the men buying moonshine books.
Hilarious.
All right. So the next strategy, this is kind of taking like the flip-flop approach, right?
Yeah, the
Um,
strategy one, we're just turning it on its head.
yeah. So one piece of content with multiple income streams, right? So think about your income stream and then create the content around that versus the other way that we talked about, which was you have the content, what income stream can you build in? We're just flipping it around.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not repurposing, it's about choosing the topic. So now that I have this moonshine ebook, what kind of content can I create around that to push that more and to build that out?
Right. So like for example, again, because I guess because we have a lot of food bloggers, right? Like it could be like meal planning might be like that's ripe for all sorts of monetization, right? So if you created a good meal planning post, you've got the opportunity to promote affiliate products, your own meal planning service, your own recipes, right? Like to get them on their list. Like that post, that particular idea has so many different ways to monetize. So think about the money first and
Yeah.
then how you're going to bake that into the content so that the content can deliver on the all those conversions.
Yeah.
So very similar to strategy one, but it's before you make the content.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, if you already have a product that you created and you just feel like there's really no way for you to promote it, create the content to promote it. Like back into it. That's a perfectly legitimate way to do it. So I've done that many times. My moonshine one is probably the biggest one. And then I also have a meal planning product that I do that with as well. But I'm always, like I said, I'm always trying to think 2 steps ahead and where I want this to go when I'm
Right.
creating it. So just try to get yourself into that mindset if you can and map that strategy out.
And I think the easiest way to do that is again, it's again similar to strategy one. You're going to look at your top content. So
Mhm.
for me, I have a meal planning post because half of what I do are recipes. I also have one that's specifically about like how to print stuff at home because I have a lot of printables. So I can interlink one. Two, I list all of the supplies, like so are all of the affiliate products. I link to my store and my best-selling products, right? Like, but I wrote that post for my printables audience to monetize them better. So, like, look at your top content. What is it? What is the pain point? And then create the post that lets you monetize in all of the ways.
And you just brought up a great point there, Corinne. If you're selling ebooks, digital products like that, many people do like to look at them on their devices, but I don't know about you guys. I have a larger segment of empty nesters. They want to print that stuff out. I can't tell you how many times I get asked in email to fix somebody's printer. I'm like, you gotta go
Yeah.
ask your kids.
Well,
um,
and then if you have printables, here's a tip. Like this is on my, it is on my list for Q3. Everyone that's holding me accountable, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I am doing YouTube in Q3, I promise. But that is one of the things I've got right now, a video that's on my site, but I'm going to try to figure out how to get that on YouTube. That is like all the troubleshooting tips
yeah.
for that because there are so many different ways and it's just easier. Like without seeing someone's computer, it's hard to know which one they're dealing with. So if you can do a video of that, so if you've got printables or any type of printable product where you know people are going to have trouble, or even those of us that use Thrive Cart Learn, I feel like that's a process that a video helps, like to understand how to log in and access what you're supposed to access there.
But where I was
Um,
going with that was it's a great affiliate opportunity there too, right? If
mm,
they're printing out these books, right, you might need, you can link to a 3-hole punch, you can link to a binding system, you can link to laminating things, like all those kinds of things that where they could turn this digital ebook into a pretty printed book that they could easily, like a binder, something they could pull off their shelf and actually use. So
yeah.
think about that. It's a great opportunity to assimilate some of those affiliate links into that product. All right.
Okay.
Next strategy. Thinking about where you want to focus on first so that you can get the maximum ROI out of your product. So, number one, and we talked about this, start with stuff that's already converting. If something's already making money for you, even if it's just a little bit, start there, right? Optimize that before you go creating anything new.
Right.
I will caveat that by saying if you know that it's completely off base, maybe you want to look at that. But in general, start with where you're already making money and see how you can make more with that because it's already working a little bit.
Right. And I would do that in two ways. So, because for those of you that are selling, actually, and if you're doing affiliate, like it might be different. So, your highest traffic post may not be your highest revenue generating post, depending on how you're monetized and what you're selling. So, look at both because they're both opportunities, right? Like if it's got high traffic, you've got lots of potential to monetize. But if you've got something that already gets great conversions, maybe there's a way you can drive more traffic to it and also earn more ad revenue. So,
Right.
I'd look at all the numbers and pick your top post in a number of regards.
Right.
Top traffic, top revenue generating, maybe top affiliate posts.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I want you to look at what you can put in the least amount of effort for and get the highest return, right? Order bumps are usually a very easy way to do that. Improving your email sequences, like once you tripwire somebody, that shouldn't be the end of the journey, right? So they get their freebie, you tripwire them to a product, right? You send them there to buy it at a special rate. If they say no to that product, you should be throwing that into the welcome sequence. Like you should be offering it to them again a couple of times, right? Because people need to see that. I always give the example like I'm standing in line at Target and I signed up for your email opt in, and then oops, my register's ready. So I didn't even get to look at your Tripwire page. And somehow I got navigated off of that and I didn't go back,
And I
right? But
will say practical examples here. So one other thing that applies to just increasing your prices, right? Like I started creating digital products and last year, again, when I was like focused on it, I'm like, I am still charging $4.99 for something that I was charging a decade ago. Meanwhile, I'm paying three times as much for groceries, right? So like one really easy way is to just go increase your prices, right? Like if you know you haven't touched those prices in a while, like you don't even have to build anything new. You just go in on the back end and change the prices. But the adding the order bump or a, again, if you've got more than one product, an upsell of a bundle is like the easiest thing to do. And that like that was a huge jump for me in terms of making more revenue.
Mhm.
And it depending on what you're using, you can have one upsell, and you do this, right, Christine, with a lot of yours. You can have one upsell and just attach that to multiple
Oh
things.
yeah. I
So
create like I have my easy dinner bundle that's attached to a number of products. So I try to be strategic when I'm creating these products so that I know what can be packaged together. I don't want to just create these all these one-off things that can never be bundled together. I'm always, like I said, trying to think a couple steps ahead so that I'm being smart about my funnels. But
and
I
then the
will,
other one is the forever sequences. Like you talked about, like working it
yeah,
into the welcome sequence. If you're running forever sequences, like these evergreen sequences that you know are just, 40, 50, 60 emails long, you can just go drop in PSs and throw in like an evergreen countdown timer that triggers. Was it Tammy that talked about the strategy? The evergreen flash sale. I think
yeah.
it's brilliant.
Yeah, it really is. And I'll also say too, most email services, you use Kit, I use MailerLite, and I know you can do this in both of them. You can have conditional content in your emails. So I have, in my Forever series, I have text boxes that only show if the subscriber doesn't have a certain tag that they purchased a product on it. So if they've already bought my ebook, they're not going to see that. But if you didn't buy it, you will see it. So I think it's one of those features that a lot of people don't either A, they don't know it's there, or B, if
Right.
they know it's there, they don't know what to do with it. Well, that is one way that you can totally use that and just hide sections of your content for people that have already purchased your product so you're not annoying them.
That was life changing when we discovered that
Yeah.
actually, because what I used to do was have a very complicated
Oh,
automation
yeah.
that it would look for whether you had the
Yes,
tag, and
no.
then I'd have two separate emails and one was slightly different. Yeah, the conditional formatting within an email, life
Yeah,
changing.
huge. So if you're not sure how to use that, I mean, it's so easy to just Google it and figure out how to use it, but that really makes it so much easier.
Yeah, much easier.
So the next thing we want you to do too is look for traffic, places where you're getting traffic and you don't have monetization strategies set up, right? So go find those posts that maybe you don't have an opt-in on it. I'm still finding stuff and I thought I was pretty good like with my opt-ins. I probably find at least, and I have like 1,500 posts, but I probably find at least one a week that doesn't have an opt-in tied to it.
Right. Or
So go,
broken Amazon links,
oh
or
yeah,
there's always
all the
something.
time, all the time with the broken Amazon links. So
So again, we're not saying like by all means keep your eyes open for it. Like just kind of train yourself like when you're in updating
yeah,
post to make that part of your SOP for that. But you don't have to go look at all 1,000, 1,500, however many posts you have. Like honestly, if you did this for your top 25, for most people, I think that would be hugely
it's the 80
impactful.
20 rule, right?
Yeah,
This is the 80 20 rule, hard at
for
work.
sure. Yeah.
All right. So I
Okay.
hope these four strategies can help you or, increase that cart value, increase, your alternate revenue streams that you have going on, and really make you see the different ways that you can build traffic without working or build revenue without working harder using the same
Right.
traffic.
Without learning a whole new thing right
Yeah.
now.
Or
Yeah.
creating a new product. And we're going into summer. We don't want to be working
Right.
that hard.
Right. Yeah. So stack the layers on what exists, right? Like look at what content you already have and just add as much monetization that is easy for you to do so, because that's the theme for today, as possible. Increase your cart value with bumps, with upsells, use bundles, like that's a very easy way to do that. And then think about all the different ways you are comfortable monetizing and think about what content you can create that helps you do that very easily
Yeah.
and you can link to in emails, link to from your other blog posts. And then most importantly, strategy four actually should have been strategy one. Like choose wisely,
Yeah.
right? Like the whole point here is it's low lift, save you lots of time. So bang for your buck. Look at your high traffic, high revenue posts and make use of those when you apply this strategy. And then hopefully, like we all like that endorphin rush, the dopamine. Hopefully, when you see that bring in more money without like a ton more work, that will keep you motivated to keep running down
Mm-hmm.
the list.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today. And make sure you leave a rating and review on our show on your favorite podcast player so more people can find the Smart Influencer podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
If today's episode gave you clarity, direction, or even just one solid aha moment, that's your cue to take action.
Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you found this helpful, please share it with a creator friend who needs to hear it. Smart creators build in communities.
And if you're ready to go deeper, whether that's through our mastermind, live events, or free resources, head to thesmartinfluencer.com and get on our list.
That's where we share the strategies, tools, and behind the scenes insights we don't always talk about on the podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Now go build something smarter.